What is going on, everyone? Brian here, and welcome back to the Style of Gaming. If you're like me, you're definitely
at war.
with Anthem. In my opinion, Anthem has the shake and bake recipe for success, even with its less than stellar launch. I am absolutely in love with this game. The lore sitting at the bottom is really exciting and has elements of Bioware's previous world building feats infused with one of my favorite gaming genres. I've had great success with the loot in the game, and I feel there's a ton to be had between weapons and components. People just hate RNG.
And I don't blame them.
But this game gets a lot of hate from people who just want it to fail, and that really sucks. In this video, I don't plan to address basic issues like optimize the game. Yeah, it's loaded with bugs that need to be addressed.
Crashing, UI and interface issues, UI locking, inactive prompts and menus, loading screens, broken launch date, can't join up with friends, etc.
But I'm going to focus on quality of life updates and general concepts that could really help bring the sprawling world that is currently locked away inside of Anthem to life. Because I like this game a lot, and I want to see it get even better. This is 8 easy suggestions to save Anthem. Let there be Lancers. As it stands, the social hub in Anthem known as the Launch Bay needs some critical TLC. Not only is it a shoebox, it's essentially a filtered down version of Fort Tarsis that, even with its problems, make you question the value of Fort Tarsis, as Bioware was able to water down the basic elements of the home hub into this janky mess. My big issue is the complete lack of interaction with your team or other Lancers in the hub. First and foremost, there's no guarantee you'll land in the same hub with your friends, so no goofing off with your squad. I addressed this in my 5-minute review, that the world feels lonely and disconnected from your squad, both in narrative and in practice, and the hub really helps cement this idea. But secondly, since I can't see my friends, let me inspect other Lancers. I can arbitrarily favorite and invite other Lancers, but how do I know what I'm really getting myself into? Unless they join my squad, I have no means of verifying anything but the player's javelin level, and that's only once they join because I can't inspect any stats about the player. A basic inspection system would really help achieve the instance universe and honestly get people more active with other players. Let there be life on the loading screen. I've never actually timed a loading screen in Destiny, but I remember some activities taking longer than usual. However, 9 times out of 10, I was completely unfazed by loading anywhere because I was able to interact with my Guardian in those screens. If Anthem just decided to ditch the Forge concept altogether, I and many other people would be very happy. I'd be tickled even if it were a watered down version of the Forge. For example, they could keep the Forge in Tarsis and at the launch bay, but offer a quick edit screen while loading. This would allow me to look at my javelin, change colors and emotes, but it would ultimately let you change to alternative loadouts you create while at the core Forge at the base. But you could also inspect other players in your squad or possibly even manage challenges. Challenge management outside of the UI would be great. I get that they don't want us swapping weapons every second up until we land in the expedition, but give me a way to change some things, look at something, do something while I sit and load. Let there be a Forge in free play. A Forge in free play at the Strider launch points is a reasonable alternative if Bioware doesn't want to implement a Forge-like menu during loading screens. It's just kind of rubbish that you can fly around for 2 to 3 hours in free play, scoring masterworks and legendaries, but the only way to interact with your loot is to pull yourself out of free play to change your loadout. This is just a total headache and could be resolved by having some type of interactable nodes on the back of Striders that allow players to swap weapons and gear. I'm willing to even compromise and only allow swapping of preset loadouts that I've created inside of these implemented quick menus. It's a baseline quality of life enhancement that would kill so much of the gripe going on and allow players to interact with the multitudes of weapon gears and components without dealing with a myriad of loading screens back to back. You generally spawn on top of a Strider as it stands, so if there was a quick Forge in the world, I think players would see a higher volume of diverse play and weapon swapping. Allow unique markers and display tracked challenges and other nearby world events in the HUD during free play. This idea needs little elaboration. It's cool that I can access the map while flying, when it chooses to load, but it's a nuisance that I have to open up menus to examine what challenges I'm tracking, especially considering the fact that the crafting blueprints are hidden inside the completion of these challenges. The current setup is like they purposely designed to hide one of the core features of Anthem with crafting. It would be easy to display markers similar to how patrol objectives work in Destiny, but even more so, allow me to make custom waypoints in free play so I can examine specific areas and find my way through the massive open sandbox. Open up the free play sandbox to more Lancers. Because of the fact that the open world is so huge and sprawling, I honestly can't believe the free play servers are limited to 4 Lancers at a time. It really makes the sandbox feel super lonely and disconnected in a game genre that's supposed to be about random occurrences and player experiences. I find it more infuriating than anything when I can't find a world event, but then I see player icons buzzing around, and then I'll try and roll out and find them just to open the map or aimlessly travel and realize they are on the opposite side of the world. More players make the mingling aspect much more fluid and immersive, while also allowing for more difficult world events if more players can get involved. I also think it would be incredible if they made a ping system in the game that allows me to let other players know I'm engaging in a seriously tough world event, and that they should make their way over to me if the event is actually good for optimal loot potential. Fix respawns and downtime in free play and all mission types. It's very problematic when you are in a world event that no other Lancer can get to you to help pick you up and you go down right at the final phase. For example, if you're fighting a Titan or another legendary enemy. This wouldn't be a problem if there weren't so few respawn locations that put you so far away from the event. Soft respawns indicated by little beacons in the world that are between major respawn zones would really benefit the fluidity of combat when playing as a solo player and make the lack of player interactivity much more bearable. The game is definitely geared towards playing with others, but the free play experience really drops the ball on solo players. On a side note about being down, while on missions downed in respawn restricted zones, it would be nice if I could spectate my squad. It's just really lame to sit there and stare for sometimes 2+ minutes at the red down screen with the obnoxious critical damage notification. If I could engage with my squad and rally them on, I think it would benefit both the active player as your down squad mates could survey the area around you, the up player, and give the down player something to actually do while twiddling their thumbs waiting for your squad's champion to revive you. Separate the stores and add more items to make vendors unique. Prospero and Serena are the Fort Tarsus vendors, each with their unique stories and lore sets that inspire their drive to sell freelancers goods and materials. However, these unique vendors are downright laughable for the fact that they are essentially pointless. One of the main reasons is they are roughly 2 meters across from each other in physical location. It's just silly they don't have one of these vendors down by the Freelancers Hall to access a separate store and fill out the fort. But the next major laughable point is both of these vendors sell the exact same 6 items each week.
Like what?
Not only do they sell the exact same cosmetics and items, these cosmetics can be purchased through the Forge and the featured menu of your menu at any time in the fort. It makes going to these vendors literally pointless. It would be very easy for them to separate the vendors physically and have them offer unique items in each of their stores. It would nullify the gripe of the 6 items featured in the shop if each shop point had their own unique set of 6 items per weekly reset. It just makes me and other players concerned that Bioware has little customization, emote, and textures made for the game right now, considering they are slow leaking everything through the same 4 access points each week. That, I hope, isn't the case considering how many masterwork and legendary pieces are available from Jump Street, so we'll see what happens in the next coming weeks though. And finally, give me some stats, man. I don't think it's too much to ask to see how our Javelin is actually operating. I really enjoy all the elemental status effects, primers and detonators, and just general combat in Anthem. What I wish, though, was with all the free floating space and Forge menus, why not just provide a breakdown of what my status infliction potentials are, my luck, DPS, shield, etc. Because I basically have to write down each number and each stat if I want a comprehensive breakdown from all my gear. This is something I definitely see coming in the near future as a microscopic fix, considering all the data is already applied and in the game, but it would just be applying a visual on the user interface to properly plan this data and be able to use it as a player to devise strategy for the game's harder setups. One of the best parts about Anthem has been how responsive Bioware has been about updates and changes coming to the world, and I'm not convinced this game is dead. These are just a few ideas I had that I think would really spruce up the life of Anthem in a way that's rather minor, but ultimately a quality of life change for hardcore fans like myself want to see in the game. Of course, I'd like to see bug fixes, optimization, and more in-game content, but this list is merely addressing changes that could come as an immediate fix to loosen the load of complaints Anthem fans have had and really allow players to see the beautiful skeleton awaiting to be fleshed out. Thank you so much for watching, Lancers. Please subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all out there in the world of Bastion.